Let's bring in Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas. He also spoke at CPAC over this weekend. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Good to be back on with you.
It's great to have you as well. So the big news, as Ainsley said, there won't be a third party, no Patriot Party. He's going to try to unite the Republican Party. The big question is, going forward, does he plan to run for president in 2024? Because he said, yeah, maybe I'm going to have to win a third time. He referred to Melania as the future first lady. But others are saying, you know what? Maybe he just wants to be the kingmaker and not the king.
Well, Steve, I thought the president turned in a very strong performance yesterday, reminding a lot of his strongest supporters why they backed him so strongly over the last 6 years, speaking about the American First agenda, highlighting Joe Biden's terrible immigration policies that's created a surge at our border of migrants trying to get into the country and halting all deportations, standing up for our veterans and giving them better care and rebuilding our military. That was a theme not just of President Trump's speech, a theme of my speech on Friday and a lot of other speakers all weekend long. Those are the things that unite our party, and those are the things that anyone who aspires to leadership in our party, whether they're running for president 4 years or Congress next year, all the way down to local offices, I think will rally behind as we go forward into the next set of elections.
What were the folks, when you were there, what were their biggest concerns? I know that gas prices have gone up. The Keystone Pipeline is no more. President Biden got in office and just started signing all these executive orders, and it's changed many lives as a result of that. Also, this COVID relief bill, so much pork is rammed into this thing. What were the people at CPAC talking about?
Well, Ainsley, in my speech and the president's speech, so many other speeches, one of the central concerns was immigration. President Trump put America first when it came to immigration. He stopped illegal aliens at our border, especially at the height of a pandemic. He put a preference for American workers getting American jobs rather than bringing in guest workers. That was a consistent theme of his speech, of my speech, and so many other speakers. A lot of other concerns, as you say, gas prices are going up. People worried about the cost of living, worried about their jobs. They want all the country to be open again as case rates continue to fall and the vaccine becomes more widely available to all Americans. Those are all issues on which the Biden administration is getting a failing grade.
You know, it's interesting, Senator, because I think these are quite obvious, disastrous. I mean, $1.9 trillion when 9% goes to the actual pandemic, when the economy's turning around. And when you see what's happening at the border, 13,000 unaccompanied minors, all-time record in May, and not a good record. But yet 6 out of 10 in a Harris poll give President Biden positive approval ratings, which I'm stunned by. But let's focus on illegal immigration. What are they going to do? I mean, what is happening now at the border, let alone the wall that's stopped, the message that's being sent? They cannot handle all these people, and now they have to confront the fact that the things they criticize President Trump on, which is putting unaccompanied minors into facilities, is exactly what they're in the middle of doing right now. And it's going to get worse.
Yeah. Their facilities now, back in the Trump era, they were cages, of course. This crisis at our border is entirely a crisis of Joe Biden's making. You cannot run a campaign saying that you're going to give amnesty to illegal aliens, that you're going to reinstitute catch and release, that you're going to provide free health care to illegal aliens and not expect a massive surge at our border. Look, we already have thousands of people showing on our border in February after Texas just had one of the worst winter storms in memory. What do they think it's going to be like in 60 days when it's springtime in Mexico and in South Texas? The only thing that the Biden administration can do is reverse this policy now. They can reinstitute the agreements that we had negotiated with Mexico and other Latin American countries to keep migrants in their country, to let us adjudicate their asylum claims there. They can make it clear that we're going to keep the pandemic closure in effect, that we're going to turn back people at their border. You cannot simply show up at our border and come into the country. But what Joe Biden does is even worse than that. He's going to track down illegal aliens in Mexico that Donald Trump turned away and inviting them to come back. That's not catch and release. That's recruit and release.
Yeah. One of the things that's going on up on Capitol Hill, as you well know, is it sounds like the Senate Democrats are going to get rid of, they've been working on a plan B because the parliamentarian told them, nope, under our rules, because we have rules in your chamber, you cannot go ahead and try to jam through that $15 minimum wage business. So instead, they came up with a plan B, which would say that if you're a big company, we're going to put a 5% tax on you if you don't pay people. Here is the president speaking about the package of stimulus on Saturday at the White House.
Now the bill moves to the United States Senate, where I hope it will receive quick action. We have no time to waste. If we act now, decisively, quickly, and boldly, we can finally get ahead of this virus. We can finally get our economy moving again. And the people of this country have suffered far too much for too long.
Okay, so where are we with this?
Well, Steve, one reason I think Joe Biden thinks there's no time to waste is that Democrats can see cases have plummeted since early January. They can see that we now have 3 effective vaccines and vaccination rates are surging. So I think they're worried they won't have the coronavirus as an excuse to pay off all of their clients and patrons in a $1.9 trillion blowout bill. As you said, less than a dime of every dollar goes to the coronavirus. Just take a look at the payoff to some of their constituencies. $350 billion for states that are poorly run and that have long-standing problems, but didn't even lose money because of the coronavirus, places like California and New York. $130 billion for schools, but only a nickel of each dollar of that money is going to be spent this year. Most of it is for future years, again, paying off teachers' unions. And then maybe the worst of all, they're going to give a lot of Americans a $1,400 check. Federal employees are going to get that same check. They are also going to get $1,400 a week, every single week, if their kids aren't in school. So if you're working in the middle of the country hard to make a living, you get one $1,400 payment once. If you're a federal bureaucrat in Washington where your schools are still closed, you get it every single week. Talk about the swamp looking after itself.
Wow. Also, if you look closely, more things that are in the bill that we haven't mentioned this morning: health care subsidies to illegal immigrants, $350 billion in state, local, and tribal government relief, $1.5 billion to Amtrak. And keep this in mind, Amtrak has not even spent the $1 billion from the last package. $140 million for a tunnel near Nancy Pelosi's district. Harvard and other higher education institutes receive hundreds of millions of dollars. Senator, Americans work so hard. This is our money.
Yeah, it really is outrageous, Ainsley. I'd forgotten about the subsidy for illegal aliens to get health care. Again, what message does that send to all those migrants who want to come to our country that Democrats are going to pass another bill that's going to give more health care subsidies to illegal aliens? Or places like Harvard and Princeton and Stanford are getting full deductibility for contributions to them. We passed measures like that last year designed to help local food pantries or other places that were designed to help people alleviate the poverty that had been created by the coronavirus. Not for some of the richest institutions in America to pad their bottom line.
Yeah, so let's look at this bill a little further. So people like Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary for Clinton, who played a key role for Barack Obama at the Fed, and then you have another guy, Alva Blanchard, a former top economist at the IMF, said this is too much. But on the other hand, you got the current Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, waving off concerns about an over-talked economy producing long-feared inflation. Don't worry about it. Is this because Janet Yellen was his old boss and good buddy? Is this person seeing something we're not?
Yeah, this bill is almost entirely unnecessary. It's a Pelosi payoff to the clients and the patrons of the Democratic Party. As y'all said, there's so much money that we appropriated last year that hasn't even been spent yet. And we did that at the beginning and the depths of the pandemic. This is a time when, again, cases are plummeting, vaccination rates are surging, the economy looks to be getting stronger. We can continue to spend the money that was appropriated last year. If there's more needed in a few months, we can come back to it. But a $2 trillion bill right now is nothing but a payoff to Democratic Party clients and patrons.
Terrific. All right. Senator Tom Cotton, after a busy weekend down at CPAC, sir, we thank you very much for joining us live.
Thank you all.
Thank you.